Hi, I'm Anna.
And I'm Ben.
And we are AutoSave. Welcome to our channel.
Today we are watching Jujutsu Kaisen, Season 1, Episode 14. What happened last episode?
So, last episode, Mahito did a domain expansion to trap Nanami-sensei in. And I was fully expecting the whole what happened with Jogo and Gojo in their fight, and that Nanami would overwhelm Mahito's new, since I think this was his first time he was really trying it out. I thought maybe he could overwhelm him with his own domain. But we learned that unfortunately that is something that he has been unable to do. So that was like a really tense situation. Didn't know how he was going to get out of that because Itadori was trying to get in. It didn't seem like he could. And I think the rule is that once you're in the domain, the attacks, the probability that it will hit is...
They're going to hit.
They're going to hit. So that was a really nerve-wracking time period. Well, Itadori got in. And in doing so, it made Mahito touch Sukuna's soul, which, if we remember, Sukuna said to him, "Don't you touch my soul again," you know? So basically, Nanami was saved. Mahito got away, unfortunately, down into the sewer. Itadori had to do something he's been putting off, something that he was hoping he'd never have to do. And that was hurt people, not just curses.
Kill people.
Kill people, even. And unfortunately, Mahito has the transfiguration, and he sent, I think, 3 little transfigured past humans after Itadori, and Itadori had to kill them. And it was a very hard scene. One of them was crying, please. And as soon as they showed that, they didn't show us Itadori killing them, but as soon as we saw that transfigured human start to cry and say please, I knew that Itadori was going to do it. He kind of had to. And then at the very end, we had something pretty fantastic that I wasn't thinking would be put into the show. I was thinking that once Junpei died, that would kind of be the end of his story. His death was the end of his story. But I was luckily wrong on that. And we got this really nice little close of an anti-bullying message. And we got that teacher that I absolutely hated. And he put out a survey to the class, and it showed us a girl who had seen Junpei being bullied and didn't say anything, and she obviously reflected on what she had seen in the past. And then it had a meeting with the teacher and the student that's still alive that bullied him. And the teacher said something freaking fantastic, and he was like, "You and I have to live with the fact that we killed his heart." And I was like, thank goodness that I just, like, it didn't need to be there. That couple minutes didn't need to be there in that episode. It wasn't integral to the plot. Junpei had already passed away. His part of the story was already over. And it didn't need to be there, but I was so, so, so glad that it was. It's like... it almost brought closure to the whole thing, because it's like, we're not going to see any of those characters again, I don't think. I don't think we're going to see the teacher again. I don't think we're going to see the student that bullied him. I don't think we're going to see the girl that had seen the bullying. We're not going to see any of them again, in my opinion. And so it wasn't necessary, but it was almost like it was there for us. It definitely was there for us, the viewer, because I think the writer obviously knew that people that were reading and watching this story would connect to Junpei and want Junpei to survive and feel sorry for him and wish that someone had seen something, someone had stopped it. And I think he put that in there because he knew he probably was. The author was probably like, "Oh, I killed off this character people are gonna love. I should probably make them feel like a little bit better now." So it was definitely there for us, and I really appreciated it. And then the Juju stroll was utterly amazing. We had the classmates of Jujutsu High all sitting around, eating together, and reminiscing about Itadori. And then we had Itadori also thinking about hoping and wishing to see them again soon. And that just obviously, to me, leads into this next episode. I think this might be Itadori's time that he resurrects to the rest of the students and kind of gets to show them what he learned in this time that he has been dead.
Yeah, good recap. I'm excited to get into this episode. Good episode. Good next few. I love every episode of the series, but I'm just ready to get into it. You?
You're biased.
Yeah,
you can't. You're like, oh, this is a good episode. Oh wait.
Yeah.
I love all of them.
Last episode was like a favorite of mine. This episode's really good too. But
was it a favorite of yours because of the bullying scene?
Well, everything. Domain expansion. The breaking into the domain, got new information, had a good Nanami flashback. There was a lot of information last episode.
We did get Nanami flashback. I loved that.
Yeah, a lot of information last episode, but it didn't feel like it was like too rushed or too forced. So I just liked last episode a lot.
There has been some episodes in this series that I have felt were really rushed. That I was kind of like felt like a lot of information was coming at me in a very short period of time. And actually, a lot of those episodes were Nanami episodes. I think the first couple where he was introduced, I was kind of like, whoa, wait, what? Okay, I'm learning about him. He's talking. What's happening? A battle's happening at the same time.
Yeah.
It was hard for me to kind of process everything at once.
My bias self is that was completely intentional to make you feel like Yuji. Because Yuji was also in like a, oh my god, we're in the middle of a fight.
He was literally in the fight. Of course it was hard for him to process what was being said to him. So yeah, that could be intentional. But from just a relaxing, enjoying, and watching standpoint, I liked the pacing of last episode.
Yeah. I'm ready to get into this episode though. You?
Yeah.
Sweet.
They're at a hot spring? Oh. Is he healing? Oh no, he's just chilling.
Smoking brain, bro.
Is that a transfigured person? Please tell me it's not. Why? Why would the humans not come by? Yeah, I don't think it would have happened. Oh, so make Itadori know that Junpei could have been healed?
That's the idea, but
pact?
I don't know.
I don't think he would have done it.
That's a dangerous enemy, man. You don't care about your own well-being as long as curses rule, you know?
Huh. They're like soldiers for a cause.
Retrieve the 6 fingers that Jujutsu High has currently.
He's so thought out and planned. Are you serious?
Mm-hmm. It's only right? Junpei's gone.
Okay, new character. Does that answer my question about Fushiguro having more? Was that Itadori fighting with Todo, like, alongside each other? It kind of looked like it for a second, but I could be wrong.
It's a good question. Oh, I love this. They play it all in reverse. It's a good question because I don't think so, but it could be because they have a habit as you knew after the first OP of making you think something's gonna happen
Yeah.
that doesn't.
Okay, let's play.
Everything.
重めの任務をいくつかこなしてもらう。重めってそういう意味じゃなかったんだけどな。有事に言ってません。彼の場合、不要な責任を感じるでしょう。前に任せてよかったよ。
Wait, what?
Yoshino is Junpei. He doesn't know that the Sukuna finger was there. He could have blamed himself at that point.
Right.
早くみんなのとこ行こうぜ。ワクワク。ワクワク。ワクに登場するつもり？
No, it has to be flashy.
来てましたなんて術師やっててもそうないよ。あるでしょサプライズ。サプライズ。僕笑い。2年も京都ももらい泣き。おえつのあまりゲロを吐く者も現れ。地球温暖化も解決する。
この姉妹校と交流会だ。東京で。
Held at the school that won in the
So
previous year.
that means they won last year?
Only Yuta participated. Uh-oh, here we go.
おっこついねえじゃん。
Low-key obsessed with her.
She's so cute. Is that a robot? Like a tree robot?
And we've seen her.
I didn't know she
Miwa.
was a student. I
Yeah.
just thought she was like an assistant.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, she was in the opening.
で、あのバカは
からお土産を配りたいと思います。京都のみんなにはとある部族のお守りを。歌姫のはないよ。にはこちら。
Is Itadori in the box?
はい。おっぱっぺー。個人の虎杖裕二くんです。はい、京都の皆さん。これが宿儺の器、虎杖裕二くんですよ。
So casual.
少なの器。どういうことだ。
He's the only one that reacted in any sort of way.
びっくりして死んじゃったらどうしようかと。
He was
し
hoping.
ましたよ。
おい、なんか言うことあんだろ。
Are they mad at him for being away and like actually being alive?
生きてること黙っててすいませんでした。
I guess that's a more realistic feeling, being kind of like pissed that you had to grieve someone who was actually still alive.
Yeah.
Because they were grieving. They were for sure grieving.
Yeah.
1日目団体戦。
A group battle. How does that work?
呪霊討伐猛烈。
That sounds like it was Gojo's idea.
指定された区画内に放たれた2級呪霊を先に払ったチームの勝利となる。もちろん妨害行為もありなわけだが、立ち向かう仲間だ。相手を殺したり、再起不能の怪我を負わせることのないように。
Does that mean the principal didn't know Itadori was alive either? Of Jujutsu?
によってはとてもハードないじめなのでは。
It's like a viewing frame.
許してやれって。
パンダが喋った。鮭。犬巻先輩は呪言した。言霊の増幅。強制
I can't wait to see more of it.
死ねっつったら相手死ぬってこと？最強じゃん。
ケースバイケースだけどな。強い言葉を使えばでかい反動が来るし、に返ってくる。
Love that.
守るのはトゲ自身を守るためでもあんのさ。
戸ざま返せよ。
貸してー。あげる。校長先生が持ってるよ。
バカめ。
これは有事次第だろう。何ができるんだ。
殴る蹴る。
そういうのやってんだよな。
何してたかは知りませんが、東京校京都校全員呪力なしで戦い合ったら虎杖が勝ちます。
That blind belief.
信憑性はある。面白い。
虎杖裕二は殺し、あれは人ではない。躊躇もいらんぞ。
嫌だな。
死後呪いに転ずることを防ぐために呪力で殺します。
そうだ、くびるのはくだらん、勝手にやってる。戻れ東堂。11時から散歩番組に高田ちゃんがゲスト出演する。これ以上説明いるか。いい、戻れ。リアタイと録が両方見んだよ。
そこかよ。
ただし次俺に指図してみろ。殺すぞ。
虎杖裕二にとどめを刺す役が必要だな。
私は嫌だ。
I feel like the blue-haired girl's the only one I actually relate to right now, because she's
Yeah.
like, I don't want to kill him.
それで話って？
なんで切れてんの？
別に切れて。
高専に呪詛師、あるいは呪霊と通じている奴がいる。あの調査を歌姫に頼みたい。
私が内通者だったらどうすんの？
いない、歌姫弱いし、そんな度胸もないから。
Their relationship has tension and flair, and I love it.
Same with theirs.
そうじゃねえ。何かあったろ。は？なんもねえよ。あった。けど大丈夫なのは本当だよ。むしろそのおかげで誰にも負けたくねえんだわ。ならいい。俺も割と負けたくない。そんじゃまあ勝つぞ。
何仕切ってんだよ。
New outro. I really like this outro personally.
This is so cute.
It got a little bit of hate from some people, but I love it.
I think what it does is show that there's an emotional side to these characters where they really are friends or they really care about each other.
In the song.
And they are young. Like, this isn't their whole life. They eat, they hang out, they do other things.
You know, I think people compared it like to the first outro, which is like so iconic. You know, you can't like it's so iconic in visual and song, but I think this is great too.
What an interesting perspective. He's the one recording it because he's the one that wasn't involved, and now he's back. Look, and now there he is in the shots. That's amazing. Look at those smiles towards him. I can't.
Kind of reminds me of like Horimiya's crew, like in a really weird way.
Oh, is this what Toto was going to watch? I could go for some really
I
good
want to be
sushi
there.
right now.
I want to be there so bad.
Oh, look at that knife.
いいわけねえだろ。
I think they're telling us that he is the best character that's ever been in fiction.
Itadori's like right next to him. Doesn't even care. I wrote something down while I was watching, so it has to be the first thing I start talking about.
Okay.
So, this episode, specifically when the Kyoto school was having their kind of powwow about how they're gonna kill Itadori, it made me think of the last episode of Attack on Titan we just watched, which was episode 13?
13?
13? It's when they start to
12.
use Eren
Episode 12.
in his Titan form.
Yeah.
And I saw so many similarities to how they were talking about, like, can Itadori control himself? They're like, oh, he's this half-wit, like, he's just gonna, like, you know, go berserk. And obviously, I took that all with a grain of salt because these people have literally never met him. They don't actually know what it's like when Sukuna switches with him or how much control Itadori has. They don't know anything.
Virtually none, right?
They literally know nothing.
Well, no, I mean, like, Itadori, it's like, I get what you're saying, of course, for the comparison to Attack on Titan. Eren somewhat has, like, seemingly, hopefully, some, like, control in that place. This is literally a different person who takes over Itadori's body. He can't access Sukuna's powers or anything, you know?
Yeah, I get you. It just made me think of it because it's like both are the tense situation, like that is he can't, like something's going wrong with Eren.
Yeah.
It made me think of that same thing. That there were people doubting that he could control and he could complete the mission.
Yeah,
obviously,
for sure.
Doubting maybe that Itadori can do this without swapping with Sukuna.
Thematically, and the doubt we see in characters.
Yeah,
I
it just
totally
felt
get
like
you.
just a similar kind of air of how other people were doubting our main character and their ability to control this new intimidating form that people just want to kill and get rid of. So, and it's almost like the ultimate weapon. This humans haven't been able to fight this fully or whatever, and so there's this like new weapon that they can use that hasn't really been proven to be 100% flawless. So that's what it reminds me of.
It reminds me of it too. Obviously, just for the sake of the show, there, like Jujutsu Kaisen, there's like the difference in severity, right?
Yeah.
Like Attack on Titan seemingly is very hopeless, has been hopeless for so long.
I
Jujutsu
see just
sorcerers
more
are
in,
fucking doing fine. Like
their characters' relationship to it. Like, there's characters who are like, no, we can use him. This could be awesome. And then there are other characters that are like, we don't want to risk it.
yeah.
And that's where I see the comparison.
I think at the moment, the only person who's like, we could use him is Gojo.
Really? I think Fushiguro thinks so.
I think Fushiguro loves Itadori. I don't think he's thinking about the fact that he could be used as Sukuna's vessel.
I don't know. He has so much faith in him. He even said that to everyone.
Like, in him. He's not referring to Sukuna and Itadori. It's not a nine-tailed fox Naruto power that he can access. It's like it's like the terminology is switch out, you know? If Naruto had to switch out with Kurama, then very early on, I think
that would not have happened.
But like I think Fushiguro, which I want to touch on too, and Itadori, like, their friendship and relationship is seemingly just very genuine and innate. Like, Fushiguro immediately was like, did something happen? You know? Like, just, like, by, like, looking at him. Which is one thing, like, in a lot of animes or TV shows, I feel like that could potentially be just, like, a cop-out of, like, more of the protag, like, acting weird, and we see that on screen, and then his friends are like, what's going on? But I think they do such a good job at capturing facial expression in this show, especially for Itadori. Like, I mentioned it last episode, like, his facial expressions are so, like, real, and so,
when I was watching it, his facial expression struck me as one that only people that knew him would think something was wrong. That's the vibe I was getting, that it was only because Fushiguro knew Itadori and had this compassion towards him or friendship towards him that he was able to recognize that something happened. Not that it was like written all over his face. It was like, it looked like a subtle expression to me. It was very like, which is kind of hard to do, a very clear, subtle expression when you're drawing.
It's easy to know it's a subtle expression because of how Itadori's character's written. And you're like, I feel like that's not true to his character, that the expression that he's making right now would be that expression.
Yeah.
I love that. I like that we got introduced to some of the new characters, I guess.
Yeah, some of them are really cute.
Yeah.
I think one of them was Momo. She looked like a little witch. She was adorable, and I cannot wait to see what she's like, what her techniques are like. I just gotta say, I'm such a fan of this, of the students at our school, the school we're backing right now, you know, like how willing the upperclassmen were to just accept Itadori, even though they've never really gotten time with him, or to trust him or like him as a friend.
Yeah.
I think they've had so much time with Fushiguro and Nobara, especially when they were grieving, to understand that Itadori was like a pretty special person.
Yeah.
And they are like, this is awesome. Like, this person that they really trusted, that they really liked, is back. And we're going to trust them too. We're going to, like, hope that this person is strong and capable and also trustworthy. And I just love the energy that they have. It's so wholesome. It's interesting because the other school seems to have this slightly different energy. Like, there's some characters that are kind of, like, selfish. Like, I'm going to do what I want to do, or I have a vendetta. And so I'm going to specifically go after this person. But I feel like our school's a little more like, you want to go after that person because they did something to you, then I'm going to help you. Like, they're more like together as a team, it seems like. So I don't really know how this event is going to go because they're talking about all of the Kyoto students joining together to kill Itadori. And they're already worried that Toto is going to somehow do a disservice to this mission.
I mean, he seems like he has his own agenda, right?
Right. He's not going to come together with their kind of plan. So it's interesting that they seem a little more divided with their own plans, their own wants.
Yeah.
And less like a team, like, we're going to win this game together.
I mean, mainly it seems like they are trying to get, like, other than Toto, their mission done, right? I obviously, Miwa, which is the blue-haired, she
her.
isn't like wanting to do this for whatever reason she has. And
It's definitely not just her a crush on Gojo.
yeah,
It's more than that. I think it's more probably to her character and her personality and her values, maybe.
but she like even though she doesn't want to do it, I think the students other than Toto they're gonna do what their principal told them, right?
Yeah. I'm surprised none of them had any, like, bite back about, like, but why?
I mean, why would you? There's never been another situation like this. They don't know what we know.
I know, but there's always someone who's, like, a wisecracking, kind of, like, doubting the man. Or there's always one character that's kind of like, or there could be, like, a really smart one that, like, pushes up their glasses and, like, thinks they know better than everyone else.
That's Toto.
So
he has such a high IQ. I feel like, dude, everything we've seen about him is just so...
he's flawless. He's intellectual. He's really good judge of character. He has his priorities straight.
He does.
I think he's really commendable.
We
as
have
a character.
Toto. We have Mai, who we met before, who wants to take on
Nobara
Maki
and Maki. Yeah.
We have Kamo, Noritoshi
like
Kamo. I feel that. Noritoshi Kamo, who kind of gives me like a Neji feel
Is that
at
the one
first.
with the closed eyes?
Yeah.
Okay.
And
he's the head of a big clan, or he's the child of the head of a clan.
The eldest son, and he feels like from this episode, I get that he's like definitely wants to pursue and go forward with the principal's mission.
Oh no, he totally had the air of like goody two shoes. He's gonna do anything to keep his family in a good name and blessing, and yeah.
We have Miwa, which is the one that you said you liked, blue hair.
I like her because her hair is cute, like since her bangs are like that. And also, I related to her the most of, like, how would I be acting right now in this situation?
Yeah. We have Mekamaru, who is
that the one that's
robot.
like the tree robot?
And then we have Momo, who is the witch.
She's so cute.
She looks like a witch. How can you not? She has a broom and her hair is so cute. I love her. She's like for no particular reason, I love her. And then we have Utahime, which is Iori, which was the teacher, seemingly in a similar position as Gojo, who Gojo asked to like investigate.
Obviously trusts her. Cats.
Yeah, he obviously trusts her.
It seems like obviously she's the only person he can probably trust in terms of adult at that school if the principal of the Kyoto school is the mean old man.
Yeah.
I don't like that old man at all.
Neither
Gojo was like, I thought the shock might kill you. And I was like, I
What
wish
do you
it did.
remember from our first episode with the old man?
He just seems like he doesn't care about anyone.
Do you remember
He's just
anything
gonna-
about him and Gojo's meeting?
I just remember that he thinks Gojo's a brat.
Did Gojo say anything about, like,
Itadori? No. Right?
political, like,
Oh,
agendas
I think Gojo brought up how it needs to change, or he doesn't agree with how the older people are running things.
Yeah.
But I really don't like that old man. I think he just seems like he would like kill anyone he wanted ever
Yeah.
for like the sake of what he thinks is right, and it doesn't matter like who they are or anything. The talent they could bring to their side to fight curses, it doesn't matter to him. Makes me wonder how he is as a principal. Like, does he punish them? Are they like all traumatized at his school?
Yeah.
He seems like Matilda, you know, like the movie Matilda, where they like lock him in the scary closet or
Yeah.
whatever, like the torture chamber when they like do something he doesn't agree with.
So
He gives me vibes of torture.
I believe I didn't want to say anything that could be potentially a spoiler. I believe in episode 8, Gojo did subtly accuse the principal of being the head of the conservatives who had plotted to kill Yuji.
Which is totally true.
Yeah, and then
Totally.
and after that happened, Miwa was like, "Mind your manners," you know, and
Yeah.
like defending, and then like in her own head was like, "Oh my God, it's Gojo." But yeah, I like that like interpolitical kind of undertone. I think that's pretty cool. We got a little bit of talk about. I don't know if they said his name. I definitely know they said Rika, but I don't know if they said.
They said another name. There was another name. I didn't know who they were.
I don't know if they said which name. I'm just gonna say Yuta, but they
I thought did it start with a U or an O?
okay, Okotsu.
That might have been it.
That was it. But they mentioned him and how he was in it last year.
And that's why they won, right? Because these other two characters were there, or this other character was there. I thought they said that like one person solely fought.
Yeah.
They made it seem like this one person was the reason they won.
I don't know. Because I don't know the answer.
They never show you a flashback of what that other exchange event was like.
I don't know. I'm trying to okay. At this point in the series, I learned that the mangaka for Jujutsu Kaisen wrote a story before Jujutsu Kaisen, and his main character was Yuta Okotsu. And then after that, Jujutsu Kaisen happened, and this story happened. That is all that I knew at this point. And I don't think that is at all a spoiler. I think that you can try to imply story dots, but I don't think anything would be anywhere close to correct, and I don't think we would have any information to give us a direction with that. I've been like debating this forever if I mentioned that or not, but I don't think that that's at all a spoiler, and I think that it's interesting since that character was brought up here, and it's cool that they kept it in universe, I guess.
Makes me want to know if we're going to meet that character. I mean, obviously, I was wondering when they mentioned these really strong upperclassmen if we were going to meet them. Because I'm pretty sure Gojo mentioned a few people a few students that he thought were going to end up being, like, top tier.
If you were a mangaka, if I was a mangaka, I wouldn't. Right? You wouldn't
what?
introduce that character.
That character that you already wrote a whole story about?
Or put that emphasis on at one point, potentially.
I would, so that I could do a spin-off.
Maybe. I just mean into this story. Like in a significant way, at least.
Maybe not a significant way, but I would at least give them like a guest appearance.
By the way, I've seen the first season of the show, as in Anna Reacts, and then I know
Sachi.
then I know a little bit about a manga part, but it has nothing to do with what I am saying to you about the previous work. So I am in the dark when it comes to that, and I don't know what it's about. But other than that, I really enjoyed this episode. It felt like it was setting things up, you know.
I have a question before we end our discussion.
Yes.
And you can answer it because it is something that Mihito said, but we might need to go back. He said that there was a way he could have done something to Junpei where he could have been saved. Or
I
healed.
believe,
And I couldn't remember if it was like a certain technique with a certain name that he has.
So
that he could have done differently.
I'm gonna go back and double check, but I believe he was trying to say that he wanted to do something to close your eyes. He wanted to try to do something where it wasn't a transfiguration, but more of a physical, like a wound kind of thing. Because I think it's implied that that Sukuna can heal wounds. So it might have been something that Sukuna could have actually healed as opposed to a transfiguration.
I wonder if that's going to be like a foreshadowing of him testing that sort of thing out.
I mean,
on a different person that Itadori would want to save.
I mean, what happened next was Geto saying he didn't think that would work, correct?
That's true, but I mean, I think Mahito's young enough that he probably wants to try a bunch of things.
Here you go. Maybe I should have just given that thing a lethal wound. Yeah. That thing.
Like he should have just kept Junpei in his human form.
And then hurt him.
Non-transfigured. Killed him with something that could or hurt him with something that could probably kill him and within, who knows, a couple minutes.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I don't think it would have happened differently. I agree with Geto there. That I don't think that would have pushed any sort of new forming of a pact.
Agreed.
I think Sukuna's pretty chill with the current situation he's in. He's kind of like, I have time. I'm going to see. Itadori's going to get all the fingers, you know?
It's a very scary thought that they do not care what happens to them as long as, I guess, this grand
like
goal.
Full-on soldiers in like a brainwashed way with it. It's not like they have anyone telling them to do this, though, but it's all for this goal of the greater good for them. Which is
scary.
Interesting. And, well, it's scary, yeah, but it is interesting that the concept of a curse that's inherently evil and breeds off of the evils and the terrors of humanity could have such self-sacrificial ideas or values that they are willing to not exist anymore if their fellow curses could have what they want. That's like such a weird idea for something that's inherently evil to even be thinking about the greater good of their own kind.
Yeah.
Which like gave them more like a human kind of tone to them, and like maybe they're not like fully 100% the embodiment of evil, but like they obviously are. Like that's the concept. That's what curses are. But it was just interesting. It put this like little seed of doubt in my head that like, does this mean that there's a possibility that like, you know, we already saw that there is some care for each other. I think it might have been Hanami, the curse that creates like flowers and looks like a tree spirit. A spirit of the forest.
I want to save Jogo.
Wanting to save Jogo. There was something very, like, sweet and touching about that. Like, did not engage in the fight, just distracted enough so that they could save Jogo. And it just brings back this, like, little weird... It's, like, almost like it brings little doubts to you that these creatures are... There's possibly no redemption or no way to feel slightly not so much hatred toward them. I don't know, because obviously they do horrible things, but it's interesting that they're adding these little human elements to them of care and compassion for their own kind, as well as some sacrificial values. It's only a few. It's interesting because it's the ones that are the most human out of the curses that we've met that are saying these things.
Yeah.
So it's almost like the more human they are, the more human they are.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
Alrighty. Well, that's it for me.
Yep.
Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and we hope to see you next time.